building a military base in Syria which could be used to strike Israel. Joining us now, Danny Danon, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. Mr. Ambassador, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Stuart.
Previously, in previous years, Israel has bombed an Iranian base in Syria. You're going to do the same thing again?
Well, that's according to foreign reports, but we will do whatever is necessary to protect the Israeli citizens. And we are very worried seeing the Iranians putting so much money, so much troops into Syria. And you ask yourself, why? To defeat ISIS? ISIS has been defeated already. So why are they investing billions of dollars in Syria today? They want to take over Syria to make it a hub for terrorism. We will not allow it.
Now, I've seen some of these foreign reports that you're talking about, and I'm sure you've seen reports which are much more detailed. What I saw was that they're going to use this base as a rocket base, a launch pad. Do you have information that you can share with us that there are indeed rockets on that base aimed at Israel?
Absolutely. Only a few weeks ago, an Iranian drone tried to enter Israel, and we had to interrupt. So we know they have offensive goals. We know that they want to target Israel. We saw what happened in Lebanon. Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. They are threatening our border with Lebanon. The Iranians want to do the same with the border with Syria. They want to have another force, another militia on the Golan Heights to threaten Israel from another direction. We cannot allow it to happen. That's why we will do whatever is necessary. And when Prime Minister Netanyahu will come to D.C. next week, this will be the #1 issue on the agenda, how we can stop Iran from taking over Syria.
Wait a second. Prime Minister Netanyahu, he visits the White House one-on-one with President Trump next week. Topic 1 is dealing with Iran.
Topic 1 is dealing with Iran. It is a threat not only to Israel, it is a threat to the other moderate countries in the Middle East. So not only Prime Minister Netanyahu, when other dignitaries come to the D.C., the main issue that they are bringing up is the threat of Iran.
I don't know the precise relationship between Israel and the United States. Could it be that Prime Minister Netanyahu has to ask permission from Mr. Trump to go after that Iranian base? Or is he just telling him, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're up to? What is the nature of that military relationship?
We have a very strong friendship. The strongest ally of Israel is the U.S., and the strongest ally of U.S. in the Middle East is Israel. So we share intelligence, we share information, we speak about those issues. We don't ask for permission to defend our people, but we work very closely with our American friends in the administration. We will continue to do that. And I think we share the same values and the same threats. ISIS is threatening Israel and the U.S. Iran is threatening Israel and the U.S. That's why we are together in the same boat.
Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu is facing corruption charges. Is he going to stay or will he be forced out?
You know, Israel is a strong democracy. I work at the UN. Most of the countries at the UN don't know what is a democracy, don't know what is the meaning of rule of law. So we respect the rule of law. Prime Minister Netanyahu is very busy working as the Prime Minister, and I count on the legal system. So we need to wait. There is no decision of the Attorney General to indict the Prime Minister yet. Many people in the political arena maybe want him to go, but I work with the Prime Minister. He's doing an excellent work as the Prime Minister of Israel, and I think he will continue to do that.
Has his very close relationship with President Trump, about as close as you can get, has that hurt Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel?
On the contrary, when President Trump announced that he will move the embassy to Jerusalem, when he announced that the U.S. will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, we loved it. We acknowledge it, we are grateful for that, and people thank the Prime Minister for the great work he's doing with the U.S.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.